Hi there. So this is the last episode of People on Sustainability, and I'm currently participating at the summer school called The Journey of Climate KIC, where we think about startup ideas that would contribute to adaptation and mitigation of climate change. So this is the perfect place to ask different people on their perception of sustainability, which is why I did this special episode. I hope you enjoy watching. What is your personal understanding of sustainability?
I understand sustainability as a state we will reach when people will consider themselves as part of a whole system.
Nothing ever disappears and everything has an effect, whatever you do. If it's not on you personally, then it's on somebody else in the system.
Always being part of the circle. Never taking too much that can never be replaced. It's all about the circle, all about harmony.
Something that is supposed to be included in our way of living, in our behaviors, and in also how we act and interact in our society.
The kind of original Brundtland definition, but and I think that does it for me really.
Using all our resources now without compromising future needs of future generations and future needs of generations.
You have to do everything with a certain consciousness.
Sustainability is that I don't use more than I get back. So that goes for the earth, but it also goes for social relations and so on.
I automatically associate sustainability with eco-friendliness.
It is whatever that can last within the years and within the time, and we don't compromise it right now with our actions and so on. So I understand it in an economical way, in an environmental way.
Human behavior and action and activities are in line with the biogeochemical cycling of the earth.
Live and let others live.
When the net greenhouse gas emission is zero on the long term.
When we use natural resources and human resources responsibly.
And how do you contribute to a sustainable life?
I think I contribute by working in a company who do landscape restoration activities. And of course, in my daily life, I try to eat vegetarian. I don't shower every day, stuff like that. And I try to remind myself that it's worth every time to try and contribute to sustainability and not just not care about it.
Within the Climate KIC competition, for example, we're working on a sustainable village where we would strive to reach self-sufficiency in terms of energy and food resources. So we would try to always produce what we can consume.
So now I'm having a project in Japan where I'm trying to spread the climate education, like revolutionize, improve climate education in Japan, connecting the teachers with sustainable activists, like sustainable farms.
Try to buy food in local places with farmers that are sustainable. I try to change my consumption.
Try and do the small personal things that many of us do, but kind of on a more long-term time scale, I may be just trying to understand the situation as best as I can. I can keep knowing and doing the right thing.
I once had a lecture by a professor. He was an astronaut, and he compared the planet Earth as a spaceship, and he said like all of the people that are living on Earth are the pilots of that spaceship, and that's how I see myself. I won't be able to solve all the climate change problem by myself, but I do see myself as one part of the whole thing. I just do what I'm interested in. That will enable our spaceship to go on.
Well, I study it and I really want to make an impact later. I try to involve it as much in my side jobs. So I worked at the sustainable restaurant and I worked at several solar companies.
I think my main contribution is research. So I'm actively researching in climate change and also entrepreneurship?
Mainly it's keeping myself informed and trying to understand what the main problems are. And secondly, I do try my best in small ways. Try and make my own products at home as much as I can. Try to use public transport as much as I can.
I try to kind of have products that even if somehow are a bit more expensive, they will last longer.
I try to think about it in the details in my daily life.
2 years ago, I've started to be a vegan, which is about not stopping eating meat, but not buying it.
Decided to dedicate my adult life basically to it professionally. That's why I'm studying what I'm studying and want to be an entrepreneur to actually make a change. And what are the obstacles of sustainable development?
I think that there is a lack of information for population.
I find it difficult to sacrifice traveling for the expense of the environment. And
Issues that come with inequality distract us from sustainability issues.
only bottom up or only top down doesn't work, so it has to be synchronized.
Basically, economical reasons.
I think that we cannot change much and that individual contribution doesn't count. And I think it's the opposite. I think every individual contribution counts.
People are really thinking on the short term, and there are always other problems in the world, so that seems to be more important.
There's such a big disparity between everyone. There's like everyone's trying to do good in their own field, and we need to work together.
It's seen as a movement of weirdos, hippies do that, but that's not true. Like, of course, it's everyone who bears the consequences.
Knowledge and constant access to that knowledge.
We have predefined images of what we should be, how we should act, and we don't think of our actions anymore.
People think that sustainability is that you have to have less or get less or be limited in what you can do or what you can get.
Reluctance would be that it's not a global movement. It's very much some people working for everyone else. But there's a lack of involvement, I would say.
What annoys you about sustainability?
Policymakers are not paying attention to it enough. They always talk about other stuff which is more important.
Maybe sometimes I'm annoyed about myself that for a short time, I stop believing that I can change something.
It's getting super trendy and misunderstood at the same time.
Nothing, really. Sustainability is awesome.
People have a power and are not necessarily willing to yet do it. And behavior change is a very strong obstacle to overcome.
The use of the word for advertising and marketing.
I think that there is a lot of things to do about the policies with farmers or with people doing breeding to help them be more sustainable.
People not really analysing the subtleties of sustainability problems.
It's too vague. This definition we share is too vague.
The fact that it's not an end state, it's always a process, it kind of feels like there's always work to do.
Like in every product, in everything you do, there is a sustainability factor that you could take into account, and that becomes a lot at one point.
Political decisions that are not backed by science and other way around.
People just use it whenever they can, wherever they can, and yeah, they simply, a lot of time it doesn't cover what they mean.
This shaming and blaming culture about sustainability that I think it's not going to work. Do you have a final message for yourself or for everyone else on how to live more sustainable?
I think it's think before you act.
And by just being strong for yourself and coming up with sustainability for yourself, you can help others to do the same.
And if you don't know what to do, at least talk to someone that does something about it. Definitely try to get involved and understand what the whole movement is about. If you don't know, don't sit on the bench waiting for people to do something.
We should all try to know where things comes from.
And trying to say on sustainability while not taking action.
Don't lose sight of the fact that it's a positive thing.
Just always be conscious about what you do.
Think about what you take and if you really need it, and if you don't buy it.
I'll watch Conspiracy to look for solutions because I think they're there. They're pretty soon there. It's not in limiting yourself, but it's more in finding a different way of arranging systems instead of limiting.
You know, you can do it positively, you can add the smile to it, and then people will listen to your message.
I think we should have more awareness.
Look at your trash before you throw it away.
Start yourself, and because it's the most efficient way to transmit the message.
Educate yourself, educate others, and inspire.
And I believe it's important for us to be responsible for what we are doing now. And what we have been doing is not caring about the future before, I think. Like, we used to care only about our own happiness right now, in the present. And that's human nature. But we are challenging this human nature right now, and I think it's a very good thing.